Welcome to Yildiz Readings 5D. Okay, we are here to dive deep into the weekly astrology. We cover it week by week for each zodiac sign. Please join us and subscribe. We also have an additional section now, which is the members zone for twin flames, pre-release video content and more. Also, have a look at the merch. Let's get into the astrology for the week and see what comes up for your zodiac sign. Now, January is full of twists and turns. If you do need a booking, the link is below. I also put specials up, and before I forget, as above, we do have the 2021 forecast for all your zodiac signs. That is a detailed report as to how the transits will affect you, what dates they're occurring, and what houses they will occur in. So keep those for reference. I'll try and pin them in the videos so that when you need them, they are easily accessible. Now, moving into the month, we do have the new moon occurring on the 13th in Capricorn by the 23rd, and we do have quite heavy placements this week relating to that Capricorn placement. Please have a look at the video for your 2021 transits. They do cover the astrology with retrogrades, directs, house placements and more. For the more weekly orientated energy to keep up to date, please subscribe so you get these transits and you know where the placements are for you. Now, moving into this month, we do have on the 13th the new moon in Capricorn, and it will be at the critical degree point. So any aspects linking to Capricorn are deeply important that you really focus on to get the best out of this week so that you can have that brand new beginning by the end of it. We also have Mercury in Aquarius, and that occurred on the 8th, and it will continue. So our thoughts, our connections, our speech, our movement will be in the bigger picture of things. We have also Venus in Capricorn, very similar to the moon energy, taking that direct responsibility and accountability with our marriages, contracts, partnerships. Now, Mars also had moved last week out of Aries, so we do have some reprieve, and it is in the house of Taurus, and it will be till March the 3rd. We do have quite heavy hitting energies linking to Taurus at the moment. Uranus and Taurus will go direct by the 14th. We also have Lilith and Taurus facing our shadow, deeply important, and Mars and Taurus. Hard to think then. Okay, so the squaring aspects that will be occurring this week is between Mercury squaring Uranus on the 12th and Mercury squaring Black Moon Lilith on the 14th, the day of Uranus and Taurus going direct. Mercury also goes in shadow by the 14th, so get that paperwork in order to be prepared. Now, on the 9th, with the moon transiting Sagittarius, it does take on themes of the South Node. So for you, this is connected to your 3rd house, and it can be a lot of thoughts relating to communication, movement, spirituality. You may be thinking of what you learnt, how you feel, and the way you view things. But communication can be the key, but I do feel your emotions do need to be mastered in a sense to handle this week. Okay, now this week we do have a lot of key themes relating to your 4th and your 5th house placement. For you on the 9th, you may find organisation is the key. Signing any contracts, doing anything home related, getting everything caught is going to be deeply important. Now, by mid-month, we do have Mercury going into shadow. So for you, anything relating to your marriages, contracts, partnerships, really going to be looking at the psychology surrounding it and the deeper connection with it. For you with Mars and Taurus, Mars is going to be in Taurus until March the 3rd, where it then will transit into Gemini. So in the meantime, you do have a lot of 8th house placement. So subjects relating to pouring your energy into these connections, taking responsibility, and I really feel, Libra, you guys will be taking the lead in that domain. Now, with Mercury in Aquarius squaring Mars and Taurus, subjects to do with your creativity, your self-expression, and the energy you're putting into it, it can be difficult, but it really benefits you to continue to move through it. And you will find by the time we do have the moon energy come through, which is going to be on the 13th, the new moon in Capricorn at 23 degrees. You can find that these areas relating to your creative projects, your romance, your deeper connections with people, as well as anything relating to hobbies, luxuries, love, romance, children, can actually bear some fruit this week. So tying up those loose ends and subjects that do come up for you can really be very beneficial by the end of this week. Now, the Sun in Capricorn will make a sextile to Neptune in Pisces, and this can really show grand changes when it does come to all those healthy changes, all that hard work ethic that you are directly putting into it. And you may see a glimmer of hope either relating to your work or the energy you're putting into things for the outcome in a very positive sense. And this can also be by the end of this week. Now, with the Sun in Capricorn making a conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn, it's really about, with the home related dynamics, anything that you're dealing with in your psychological foundation. It may feel like a little bit of a rat race, but with the work that you put in, you will see the end of it. And this can be a really quality orientated time that you assess what you need to let go of. Now, this can be something physical, it can be tying up loose ends, and it's really assessing the bigger picture, either at a financial level, a spiritual, or an emotional level for that movement forward. Now, again, on the 10th, we do have the moon transiting Sagittarius, which is still the energy of the South Node. And in a Jupiter sense, you may be again having a lot of communication. Now, this can very much depend on what you are doing in your life. It can be anything to do with your spiritual belief systems, your higher education, the bigger picture of where you want to go in life, and even moving situations, relationships, connections, and workplace situations ahead. All these key themes after last year's eclipse in Sagittarius is that building point that we are putting those pavements down. So the steps you take can really help balance those areas out. Mercury in Aquarius will be making a conjunction on the 10th to Saturn in Aquarius. So both with love, romance, children, and luck, and even launching things. This is that last week prior to Mercury going into shadow to do anything of that nature. Attaining luxuries and things to that degree also can come through at this time, and it can be quite lucky. Venus in Capricorn trining Mars in Taurus can be bringing things really full circle. Also, when it does come to contracts, they can be coming through in a very beneficial sense, and any work you're putting into that can really start shining. Relationships and intimate connections can be deeply passionate and loving, and with trust, you can bridge that gap. Now, on the 11th, we have the last phase of the moon transiting through Sagittarius. So similar themes emotionally, spiritually, and again, it can be quite a busy time when it does come to any creative projects, romance, connections, and situations with children. Now, with the Sun in Capricorn, you may be dealing with things relating to contracts, government bodies, potentially even accountability in these situations, and being able to really shine bright like a diamond. Now, with Mercury in Aquarius making a conjunction point yet again to Jupiter in Aquarius, pushing these energies and getting these things done at that last hour prior to shadow of Mercury will yet again benefit you. And key themes to do with your thoughts, your movement, and your actions are really going to count. On the 11th, there can be key themes with Mercury in Aquarius sextiling Chiron and Aries, the wounded healer. Themes to do with your wounds relating to these areas may come up. So it's really asking you not to stand in your way and to move through the energy, because we now do have that pressure point that has been taken off you in your Venus house. Aries had been there for quite a while last year, and it was really causing tension for you guys. So now that it is, we do have Mars in Taurus. It is to a degree taking that pressure off and asking you to have that openness. With the Sun in Capricorn conjunct Pluto in Capricorn is asking you to dig deep and get into those areas that really need to be tied up. It can yet again, because of Chiron, create an emotion, and potentially self-sabotage energy can come through. But if you trust the process, it's the bigger picture of looking at that direct foundation with Pluto. What's coming up? What needs to be changed? How can you shift it so that that stability and that base chakra foundation can be there for the longitude of anything you're tuning into and connecting in with? Now, by the 12th Libra, we do have the moon transiting through Capricorn, and it will be there for 2 days. So key themes relating to your 4th house placement can be emotionally coming up. It can be the need to tidy shop, get into a routine, create those healthy boundaries, but really get things super organized so that the things that you need to address, you'll have the time and space for. Now, the 12th is great for analytical detail and getting paperwork in order. With Mercury in Aquarius squaring Uranus and Taurus, subjects relating to your money, your shared resources, your creative endeavors, the luxuries you have, looking at your books, looking at your relationships and your connections, and how you're going to manage those things. This is a really good day to get that paperwork in order prior to Mercury going into shadow. Venus and Capricorn squaring Aries and Chiron also can be triggers relating to family and home, so caution with the throat chakra. Mars and Taurus will be squaring both Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. So key themes relating to the bigger picture. It's not going to happen overnight. It's really the bigger picture of what you need to do, and it can be epiphany moments, frustration and tension points, but seeing those situations through and realizing the bigger picture. Don't run through emotions feeling that you are not successful. It's dealing with them head on and having patience with yourself, but keep going. Now, on the 13th, we have the new moon in Capricorn, and it is at 23 degrees. This does relate to home-related dynamics. So this week you may have been discussing, thinking, or dealing with home-related dynamics, travel, your daily routine, the psychology of family and connections. This now has a new beginning, and it can mean that all that hard work, it's ushering that situation in. Mars and Taurus is squaring Saturn in Aquarius, so don't expect everything to do a 360 smack bang on this day, yet we also do have on the 14th Uranus and Taurus going direct. So key themes relating to money, legacies, tax, wills can be coming up this week, and if you can deal with them, it will benefit you to have that little bit of break. Now, it can become super busy as we do have Mercury going retrograde. That will be occurring by the end of the month, but we can have some shadow energy coming through by the end of this week. Now, on the 14th, we are having Uranus and Taurus going direct. This can be sudden changes really relating to any 8th house placement energy. And you're really guided to, with the 8th house, if there was anything paperwork related that you did need to get done, this week would have been the last pocket week to really be able to do such. Now, it's not to say that you can't move through this over the next month, moving into February, but it can be more difficult, but more details during this time as to cracks in the system, flaws in your belief systems, missing information can be coming through during Mercury going into shadow. So if you were unable to complete these things, rest assured you can actually still continue with that energy. It just can become a little bit more tedious during that process. Now, as Uranus and Taurus goes direct, you can find sudden changes really occurring relating to your 8th house placement. This can be situations to do with money, inheritances, deeper connections and intimacy, contracts being signed, new money coming in that is shared. and growth in that domain. But a lot of those things where you have difficulty during that retrograde cycle, you can find suddenly, miraculously, can start changing now. Now, with Venus trining Mars, you will find that subjects relating to your marriages, contracts, partnerships can really take full form. Also, when it does come to the finances, digging deep and having those deeper spiritual connections, this can be a positive, pivotal time of change. Moreover, on the 14th, with the moon transiting Aquarius, themes relating to your 5th house placement can come up. This can be your romance, it can be creating things, it can be pregnancies, it can also be deeper romantic connections. If you have any creative projects you're working on, this can be a lot of emotions relating to these things and tuning into such. With both Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, you can find the responsibility can link into this, but also looking at the expansion and the potentialities of those areas with those placements. Now, the 15th, we still will have the moon transiting through Aquarius, so key themes can continue on. Also with the emotions and the physical vibration of showing up with the sun in Capricorn, you can be showing up in a very adult format, taking a lot of responsibility, taking the bull by the horns and moving situations forward in life. As Mercury moves into shadow, miscommunication can come up, so we do need to be very careful with that 5th house placement when it does come to any creative projects. If it does come to anything relating to your romance, purchasing of luxuries, tapping into that, and really keeping correct through that Mercury retrograde, because you will find anything 5th house related can become a little bit more difficult as it's in the house of Aquarius. Now, the sun in Capricorn will be sextiling Neptune in Pisces, so subjects relating to your 6th house can come up in a very beneficial way. And if you have put a lot of hard work into situations relating to your romance, children, luck, or co-creative ventures, with the accountable energy of the sun in Capricorn, you can again see some really shining benefits. On the shadow side, we do have both Black Moon Lilith in Taurus and Aries in Chiron. Now, Aries and Chiron this day will actually help you to actually move beyond the wound to reach your hopes, dreams, and goals. Now, this can be with your marriages, contracts, partnerships, actually not holding yourself back, and with that 8th house placement, diving in deep and realizing the dream that you can have that of what your heart desires. The shadow side also with Lilith, you will find that overcompensation can be problematic, and it will be this need for give and take, and really pay attention to your cash component because we could overindulge. Have a great week, beautifuls. I trust that you will keep safe this week. Please enjoy this week. I'll see you live during the month with the twin flame updates. If you do need a booking, you can go to the link directly below. Remember, we do have the join section now, so the member zone is open. If you do want to come along and join us, we have live sessions for twin flames. It's a safe space that we can discuss things. I also have the pre-release content and another tier level and merch available as well. See you live for the super chats, guys. Love and light. Keep safe.